I wanted to do a high-level overview to show you how to use the new system and just kind of do a real quick run-through of the various features and functions within it. Obviously, we'll cover it in much greater detail during real training, but at least this will be enough to get you to bump around in here and learn it on your own a little bit to experiment, and you'll learn that it's really, really easy to manage. Across the top, of course, is a drop-down that you can jump to any page. Of course, you can also do that through the navigation itself. And next to that is an option to view it in either PC mode or tablet mode, or even in cellular mobile phone mode. To the right of that will be some information tools where you can share a preview link of it, general stats. It has Google Analytics built into the system as well. The stats won't show until your site's been published live, so for now there's nothing to look at there. You can also add new users here, as well as manage different site languages here as well. You can do a preview, and if you're going to wind up clicking on things, or you want to test on the various buttons and see how everything routes in the site for real, you'll need to click on the preview to go into the preview mode. And then when you click on things, it will actually take you to wherever it needs to go. If you do that in the live view, when you click on a button, for example, it actually will take you to the options to manage that button as to where it links to and the different style and such options for that button. So you'll definitely need to go into preview mode quite often to just test things out as you go along. Your publish button will not be clickable yet because the site's not built yet or ready to go live, of course. So you won't get a blue publish button. Yours will probably be grayed out. And then you'll have some help information at the top right as well. On the left-hand side, this is where you're going to do most of your work. At the top, we've got some design options where you can manage the global styling of your site, all the different fonts and the default fonts of your site, as well as font colors and styling and all of the basic styling in your site. You can also style buttons and how they're going to look in the site, as well as images. Should images have a border? Should they be squared or rounded or even circular? Totally up to you. Of course, even if you select the default rounded, for example, you can always change that on individual photos as needed. So the global defaults can be overridden on a case-by-case basis as needed. You can also manage how tall the rows are, any background colors or even designs, textures to each row. You can change the entire site as well, the site background. And you can manage the design of the site in terms of its style. Is it going to have navigation at the top like most of them? Is it going to maybe be a sidebar menu or no menu at all by default and you just click it to expand it? As well as on the tablet, are you going to have the sidebar slide out, or is it going to be a full style in a tablet? And then of course you've got multiple options for mobile phone to decide how that's going to look. So you can play with the various layouts of the site as well. Also on the left, we've got page management. Just like our old system, you can drag and drop and move pages around as needed. And you can even drag pages to be under other pages to become child pages. You have an option to the right, a little gear icon, to manage the page settings, where we can copy pages, we can hide pages in navigation, you can rename the pages, you can manage the page URL, so giving it a slash whatever name, as well as this SEO, and you can of course have secured pages in the site that require a password. So you can manage all your pages here, and you can even create pop-ups, which would be like a small pop-up page. You can have pop-ups for all sorts of things, and we can cover that at a later date as well, but you can also go in there and play with it. On the left also are the widgets. These are all the modules from our old system, but certainly vastly improved, and you'll see there are quite a few more options and features and things you can play with in here. This is where you'll just go in and play around and make yourself familiar with the different widgets. These of course will all be blank, so they won't have any content in them, but I'll show you how to use some of the pre-formatted information as well. Under content, we've got your image manager and your file manager. As well as form responses. So any forms that are submitted, they're actually all sent to one central location now. So even if you have a dozen forms throughout your site, you can manage all of them in one single location. So you don't have to jump to each form to see all of the different form responses. You can do it all in one location. You can manage any global information such as address, phone number, social accounts, map, any bio information that you want to be seen by your users, as well as logos. You can even do a find and replace. So if you're using one of our templates and the default is something like this, you can change it to whatever else and it will go through the site template and update a lot of the information there as well. When you're ready to import content from your old website, you can click on Import Content and you put in the URL, and it will bring most of the images and files and some of the basic information over from your website. We do this also on the back end, so you don't really have to do this, but you can do this as a test just to play with it. The personalization is what I showed you briefly, where you have the option to create different pop-up messages and alerts and things such as school closing or different events, whatever it may be. All kinds of messages that you can create to pop up based on times and locations, maybe the device that they come in on, whatever it is that you want to do. You can do all kinds of different personalization effects for the users. And then you can create a store, a blog, and you also have lots of settings. You can manage your own favicon. That's the one that shows at the top of your browser. Your own social networks image, so people see it on Facebook with whatever image. This is where we'll manage your specific URL. So when the time is ready and we point your site to here, this is where we'll do that. All sites now come with SSL by default, so you don't need to do anything for that. When your site goes live, it will have SSL by default, and we take care of that for you. You can manage all of the SEO for your site at the site level, as well as each individual page. You can link it directly to Google Analytics if you're using Google Analytics separately. But like I said, there's also analytics built into the site. You may find that that already meets all your needs, and so you won't need to use Google Analytics unless you really want to. We can manage specific header HTML if needed, as well as backup your site. This is a great tool for you that allows you to manually back up your site whenever you want. You can create whatever backup version you want and then go back and manually restore it anytime you want. So if you find that somebody at one of the schools has made a change to a site and they broke something or they deleted something, whatever the case may be, you can always go back and restore it from any available backups that are in here. Simply click restore and it goes live. There are a lot of different site languages available. So you can set your site to be readable in any of these available languages. So instead of using Google Translate, which is actually going away and is not going to be available much longer, we have built-in site language translation. There's some privacy settings where if you're going to do the GDPR or cookie notification, you can do that here, as well as create your own 404 page in case maybe the user goes to an old broken link that you might have removed. And you can even download the entire site, including the HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and everything, if you ever wanted to, just for your own safekeeping or whatever you want to do with it, maybe play with it locally, whatever the case may be. And then last is a progressive web app, and if you're not familiar with that, it basically creates an app version of your website so that even offline users can access the website. So that's a really nice new thing. It's a big upcoming feature. So a lot of folks are now switching to the progressive web app that does not require the user to have a store account or to actually install any specific apps. They simply go to the website prompts them to install it, and it just installs the website as an app itself. So that's a really nice new tool. In that case, you don't have to manage the content in the app because the website and the app really are one and the same. So that's how you manage all the different features on the left-hand side and across the top. And then, of course, to manage any of the content on the page, simply go to it, click on it, and you'll get your text editor where you can just start making any changes. When you're finished, just click the little checkbox and it's live, it's done. You can do that literally with anything. For example, if you want to change a photo, just click on the photo and then you can swap it out to whatever else you want. So it's really that quick and easy. Click on it, go pick another photo, and you're done. If you want to go pick a photo and you want to edit the photo, maybe that's not quite what you want, there's also a built-in image editor. So we can go in here and crop and manage this photo. I'm not going to do it on this one, but you can do all kinds of changes, add some frames around it, play with some different effects, maybe put photo or text over your photo. You can do all kinds of filtering and adjustments and things like that with it as well. And then last is the pre-designed content pieces that we call sections. So if you decide you want to add something new to your page and you don't want to just add an empty widget, which you certainly can. If you want to add something empty to it, by all means, go right ahead. But if you want to add something more stylized already, mouse over anywhere on the page, and as you move your mouse, you'll see the little blue plus will appear. Anywhere you see that little blue plus in the center of the page, you can mouse over that plus, and it'll change to Add Section. Click on Add Section, and then all of your sections will be available on the left-hand side. And so you can kind of click on them and see how that might look. You can go through them. And there are a lot of different sections for lots of different things, whether it's for introduction pages, maybe features, things you want to add in your site, whatever it may be. So you can just go through the list and you can see there's a ton of different things in here. Tabs, text images, maybe your team for portfolio use, show the whole staff. Maybe the cafeteria wants a page. By all means, they can have one now. Different types of content is available just by going down and clicking on the page. When you get to the bottom, there are even more options. You click the little down arrow, and you'll see there's even more options available. So if you're going to do photo galleries, lots of different ways to do galleries. As well as any promotional things that might be coming up. Maybe some FAQs, frequently asked questions, whatever it is you want to add. There are lots of different options available for you. And footer styles. So simply pick one that you like. I'll go back to, let's pick a Contact Us page, for example. We'll just pick this one because it already has a nice little form in it. If you like that one, just click Save. And now it's on your site. And if you want to change it, you just click on any item in here and go through it and change that information. So it's as easy as that to change content on your website. One last thing I'll show you is creating pages. When you create different pages, you even have some page templates now. So instead of just creating a page that's blank and that you're then going to have to add some widgets or some pre-styled sections to, when you go to add a new page, you have the option of adding maybe an About Us page that's already pre-designed. Lots of information, again, just like the other template pieces. You simply change out the photos and the text to make it your own, and away you go. So the same with photos or our team. Maybe this could be a photo gallery page or maybe an entire directory page. Again, we've got restaurant, cafeteria menu, location, so you can do lots of stuff with your maps. Of course, a Contact Us page. Everybody's got to have one. Maybe different services, like what the different departments do. Again, photos and portfolios, maybe a specific